They thought it was propaganda. That was the first reaction many German prisoners of war had when they arrived in the United States. They had been told, repeatedly, that America was soft, disorganized, overstated. A nation of advertisements, not factories. A country that talked loudly but produced little. Then the trains kept moving. Miles passed. Then more miles. And the factories didn't stop. Steel mills. Assembly lines. Shipyards. Entire cities built around production. Not hidden. Not protected. Running in plain sight. For soldiers raised inside a tightly controlled information system, this wasn't just surprising. It was destabilizing. Most of these men had spent years fighting across Europe. They had seen the limits of German logistics firsthand. Tanks waiting for spare parts that never came. Aircraft grounded for lack of fuel. Ammunition rationed not by strategy, but by scarcity. They understood war. What they had not understood was scale. In Germany, factories were valuable targets, carefully concealed, dispersed, protected. In America, production wasn't hidden. It was multiplied. Shipyards stretched farther than the eye could see. Liberty ships were being launched faster than German submarines could sink them. Some POWs later recalled standing silently as trains passed by, loaded with tanks, trucks, aircraft parts, food, fuel. Not moving toward the front. Moving toward ports. Toward oceans. Toward wars on multiple continents. This was not emergency production. This was normal operation. And slowly, a realization set in. Germany was not fighting an army. Germany was fighting an industrial system. In the camps, conversations changed. Early confidence faded. Arguments broke out. Some still believed victory was possible. Others began doing the math. They compared what they had seen back home to what now rolled past them every day. America was producing in weeks what Germany struggled to replace in months. This wasn't about courage. German soldiers did not suddenly doubt their own bravery or training. What collapsed was the assumption that skill could overcome volume indefinitely. It couldn't. The war, for many of them, ended long before Germany surrendered. It ended beside American rail lines, in factory towns, watching endless output with no visible strain. Even bombing campaigns didn't change the equation. Damaged factories were repaired. New ones appeared. Production schedules barely slowed. Losses were absorbed, replaced, and exceeded. One former POW would later say that the war made sense only after captivity. Not because he had been defeated, but because he finally saw the enemy clearly. Not soldiers. Systems. This is why the outcome of the war was decided far from the front lines. Not in a single battle, but in 1,000 facilities running day and night. While armies clashed, factories multiplied. History often focuses on generals, weapons, and tactics. But wars of this scale are won elsewhere. In logistics. In throughput. In the ability to lose equipment today and replace it tomorrow without hesitation. The German prisoners understood something few on the battlefield could see at the time. You cannot outfight a production system. You can only outlast it. And once they saw it, they knew. The war was no longer a question of if. Only when.